Good morning, Year 4. It's Mrs. Cafrello here with your literacy lesson for Wednesday the 20th of January. Okay, so in your literacy books, I want you to write today's date, Wednesday 20th of January 2021. Misalign. Your learning objective today is to empathise. Misalign and then do your subheading for your spag. Okay, so with your pencil, pause the video and you can do that now. Okay, so this morning we're going to be looking at using commas for lists, something that you are all familiar with. Okay, so we use commas to separate items in a list so that the reader takes a pause and it makes the sentence clearer to understand. Let's read this sentence. When I visited the zoo, I saw lions, monkeys, tigers, giraffes and hippos. Okay, so that is quite a mouthful for the reader to say. So we're going to add some commas so that the reader takes a pause to make the sentence clearer. Have a little think about where the commas are going to go. Okay, let's have a look. When I visited the zoo, I saw lions, comma, monkeys, comma, tigers, comma, giraffes and hippos. Okay, we do not need a comma here before the and because the and creates the pause that the reader needs. So let's read it again. Now we've got our commas in there separating the list of animals that the person saw. When I visited the zoo, I saw lions, monkeys, tigers, giraffes and hippos. Okay, so it's much clearer for the reader to understand. For task 1 this morning, you're going to see if you can put commas in the correct place. Okay, so Mild says, I would like to visit the zoos in Chester, London and Edinburgh. Spicy says, zoos provide benefits such as healthcare, nutritious food and spacious habitats. Hot says, I went to the zoo with Lucy, Ishmael and Zara. Whilst we were there, we saw the penguins being fed. I was surprised to see that they eat fish, krill and squid. So have a think in these sentences where the list of things are. Okay, it could be a list of cities, a list of names. Okay, so pause the video, copy out one of these spag challenges into your book and fill in the commas where you think they need to go. Okay, let's see how we've got on. So Mild. I would like to visit the zoos in Chester, London and Edinburgh. The list is a list of cities. So we've got Chester, London and Edinburgh. So our comma needs to go here to separate the cities. Remember, we don't need one before the and, so we do not need one here, just in between Chester and London. I would like to visit the zoos in Chester, comma, London and Edinburgh. Spicy then, zoos provide benefits such as healthcare, comma, nutritious food and spacious habitats. So this one's a little bit different because they've got two words for the items in the list. So we've got healthcare, nutritious food and spacious habitats. Okay, we don't need a comma here and here in between each thing because nutritious is the word describing the food, nutritious food. That's just one item in the list. Okay. Hot says, I went to the zoo with Lucy, comma, Ishmael and Zara. Whilst we were there, we saw the penguins being fed. I was surprised to see that they eat fish, comma, krill and squid. So give yourself a tick if you've got those right. So this is how your book should look now. You should have written task 1, mild, spicy or hot, whichever one you've chosen, and give yourself a tick if you got it right. Now for task 2, you're going to think of your own list and remember to include the commas. So you're going to finish one of these sentences using a list, and your list must be separated by commas. So mild says, my dad made us a picnic for our day at the zoo. We have got, so you're going to write a list of everything you're taking in your picnic. Don't forget your commas. Spicy says, when you visit the zoo, you will see. So you're going to write a list of what you will see at the zoo. See if you can use adjectives as well to make your sentences more exciting. For the hot challenge, you're going to finish this sentence. To be a good zookeeper, you need to be, and you're going to do a list of everything you would need to be a good zookeeper. So pause the video now and see if you can complete task 2. Okay, so you will all have different ideas for these because you're thinking of your own list. So I will read through them next week when you bring your books back. Okay, so for mild, you could have, my dad made us a picnic for our day at the zoo. We have got sandwiches, crisps, and fruit, full stop. Okay, so the commas would go between sandwiches and crisps, but not between crisps and fruit. You would just need one comma in that sentence. When you visit the zoo, you will see amazing monkeys, comma, tall giraffes, and grey elephants, full stop. Okay, so that's a list of the animals that you would see, including the adjectives amazing, tall, and grey. And our comma would just need to go here to separate amazing monkeys and tall giraffes. Hot then, to be a good zookeeper, you need to be kind, comma, caring, comma, intelligent, and helpful, full stop. So that's a list of things that you would need to be a good zookeeper, because I've got 4 things in my list: kind, caring, intelligent, and helpful. I need a comma between kind and caring here, and a comma between caring and intelligent. Okay, have a look through your sentences. Your book should now look like this, and give yourself a tick if you think that you've got that one right. So we decided for our campaign yesterday which side we were going to be on. Do you think that zoos should be kept in captivity, or do you think that they should be kept in the wild? Okay, today's learning objective is to empathise. So I want you to have a little think now, maybe pause the video and see if you know what empathy is. Okay, so what is empathy? Empathy is when we are able to understand and consider how other people are thinking or feeling. The capacity to put yourself in someone else's position. So it's about understanding that other people might have different opinions than you, but being thoughtful of that and considerate of that, okay? And understanding other people's points of view. So today we're going to be considering the other side of the argument, so the opposite to what you have chosen to write your campaign about, okay? So we're going to be thinking about other people's points of view. So what I want you to do now is think about the option that you chose yesterday. Did you decide that animals should be kept in zoos, or that they should be left in the wild? Why did you think that that was the best option? Think about justifying your argument yesterday. Why did you think that that was the best option for you? Now think about the opposite option. Why do you think that people would choose the opposite option? What reasons could they have? How would they justify their argument? So I want you to remember, to be able to empathise, we need to understand that everybody is entitled to their own opinion. We all have our own opinions, but it doesn't mean that we're always necessarily right. Today we're going to write about the other option, the opposite option than we have chosen to write our campaign about. So have a look at yesterday's work, reread what you have decided to do, think about your thoughts and reasons for choosing the option that you have chosen for your campaign. Then think about other people and what they might have chosen. If they've chosen the opposite one than you, why might they have chosen that option? Okay, so if you've decided that you would prefer animals to be kept in the wild, okay, and that's what you're going to write your campaign about, the opposite would be animals being kept in captivity. So you could say, I understand that some people would prefer to keep animals in captivity. The reasons for this might be that they are well looked after. Okay, so that's just one of the reasons why somebody might have chosen the opposite that you chose. See if you can think about any more. Think about the positives and the negatives of the opposite choice. And here's your task for today. So if you're going to choose mild, I want you to think why people might have a different opinion than what you have chosen. Okay, and I want you to complete these sentences. I understand that other people might choose to, so the opposite of what you've chosen. They might choose this because, and then you're going to list the positives and negatives of that other option. Although I understand their opinion, this is showing your empathy, I think that animals would be better, and then give your opinion, what your campaign is going to be about. Okay? I want Spicy to do exactly the same, and then I want you to explain your views to them. Try and get the other people to change their mind. Okay, so people with a different view to you, you could say, have you considered that animals might not be well looked after in zoos? Have you considered that the wild is dangerous for lots of animals? Did you know? Tell them a fact. Try and get them to change their mind. Do you realise that some zoos could be prosecuted for not caring for their animals properly? Okay, try and get them to change their mind. Okay, so you're saying that you understand their opinion, you're showing empathy, understanding their opinion, acknowledging that we all have different opinions, but then you can try and convince them to come to your side of the argument. Okay. For hot, I want you to think about why people might have a different opinion than you and write a full paragraph explaining why do you think that they've chosen that option. Talk about the positives and negatives of their option and then explain your reasons for your option. Okay? Try and show empathy. How would you show somebody that you understand their views but want to share your views with them as well? Think about that at the end of your paragraph, okay? So this is just an example of what your book should look like. I'm hoping that lots of you write much more than this. I've just done 4 lines for a quick example, but I'm hoping, especially if you've chosen Spicy or Hot Challenge, that you at least get halfway down the page, if not more. Okay, and when you finish that, there's a challenge for you. So I want you to write down what empathy means to you. So you can miss a line, write challenge, and give me your definition of empathy. What does empathy mean to you? Then send your work